to the channel. Thank you so much for joining me. In today's video, I am going to be participating in the Colouring Journey Reflections tag, and this was created by my beautiful friend Kay over at Colouring with Kay, and she did also tag me as well. So Kay, if you're watching this, my love, thank you so much for coming up with this wonderful tag and also for thinking of me and tagging me. I'm really excited to participate. I do just want to start the video though by apologising for being quiet on the channel. I did put a community post up just saying that, you know, it's just a super busy season. You know, what with trying to make sure I'm getting everything sorted for Christmas. I also have my eldest daughter's 18th birthday next week, which I cannot believe, bless her, but she is just an incredible young woman and I am honoured to be her mum. But yeah, just trying to make sure that everything goes smoothly and everything is organised for her birthday meal. And yeah, I'm just kind of trying to be like, you know, I'm the person doing it all, you know, I'm trying to be everything to everyone, and it's just been really quite overwhelming. And so it has kind of taken a toll on my mental health, so I do apologise for being absent, but yeah, I do have quite a few videos that I would really like to get done before the end of December, so you might be seeing quite a bit of content from me over the coming week and a half. So yeah, I hope that is okay. All right, so without further ado, I would like to tag Jo at Geordie Colours, Emma at Emma Colours, and Christina from Christina's Art Corner. I would love to tag you ladies in this. Please you don't have to feel obliged to participate if you don't want to. It's absolutely fine. I completely get that this time of year is really busy. But yeah, they are the ladies that I would really like to tag. And so without further ado, we'll just get started. Bullet point number 1 is to share some of your completed pages from various books from earlier in your colouring journey, for example, the first 2 to 5 years, and reflect on how you used to colour back then. So in the beginning, my colouring was, I think it was quite flat, and I was very new to colouring pencils as well. So yeah, a few of my very early pages, I don't have some of my like first books, they've sort of been destashed, or you know, I had at the time completed everything in them that I wanted to and, you know, got rid of them. But these are some of my early works. I do have a like a gift bag, and it's full of colour by number and colour by colour books that I have completed. So yeah, they were, you know, very popular early in my journey as well. But this is A Million Sloths by Lulu Mayo. I don't have many done in here. Oh, so I did this one, and as you can see, that is mostly just water-based markers and some Pentel Dual Metallic gel pens and some Jelly Roll Moonlight by the look of it as well. Yeah, no shading, no nothing, just flat colouring. And I think this was a buddy colour with Nikki in Niagara. So yeah, we did that one. Such a cute little book. My son asked me yesterday to sort of show him how I use pencils and sort of, you know, teach him how to do like the shading and stuff. So yeah, I think I might let him have a go in some of these books. You know, he could have a go on some of these like simpler images, couldn't he? This is a not as earlier one, but I shaded this one, I think, with crayons and a little bit of pencil. But apart from that, it is just water-based markers and gel pens again. I didn't do any shading on the flowers, the main part here of the sun, the birds, the sloths, no shading at all. And I do think that this was one of my first attempts of going over the black lines. Yeah, so there's that one. This one, again, there's no, I was going to say there's no shading on it, but it looks like there might be a little bit on the red stripes on this guy. And a little bit on the leaves. I've sort of tried putting a bit of a darker green at the bottom. And then I used a metallic Posca for the background and gel pen down here. So yeah, it's just quite flat and quite simple. There isn't really any depth of colour or anything like that. Another relatively early book was Ivy and the Inky Butterfly. I've done a few pages in here. The first pages with these, and this was my first attempt with inks to sort of try and blend them. I know it was a whip for a really long time. I have had a go with pencils. You know, it's not too bad. It looks like I've maybe tried a bit of watercolour in some places. Obviously I didn't blend that out very well, but I was having a go. I put some washi tape on there, but it wasn't sticking very well and my page was coming out, so I've put sellotape over the top. This one, I did use pencil shading on that one. I do still quite like it. It's not too bad. These two. Done this one. I think this was a buddy colour with Imogen from Colouring Kid, I think. Yeah, I'm sure it was. I do like the colours, but I just feel like, you know, you can see that I've tried adding shading, but it's just so pale. It's not, there isn't really that depth, you know. There's sort of like those deep shadows and things like that I would like to try and achieve now. I did recently get another copy of this though, so that I can have another go with some of these pages. I do like how my butterfly turned out. This one, yeah, struggling with the inks again, but I had a go. And then this book belongs to Emmy and Mummy, with some pencils and gel pen. I've done the border on there. I did colour the cover, and at the time I was so proud with it, but it just looks so faded in things now. So I think on my new cover I might get like some clear parcel tape and just protect it that way. Okay, so then these are two of the books that I have pulled out from that gift bag. So this is Colour by Colours Summer. I think this was Kira Geneva. And these were all just done with alcohol markers and water-based markers. But I love these because instead of having the numbers on them, each section is outlined in the colour that you need to use. And I just think they turn out beautiful. And I've completed, I think, pretty much all of the ones that I had of these. They're just an absolute joy to colour, and really mindless, which sometimes I think you need. Second completed colouring book of 2021. I completed it on the 24th of July 2021. That one, and then this one. This is a Disney Coloriage Mystère. So this is a colour by number Disney, and in these I just used all water-based markers. And yeah, these are sort of more the kind of ones more aimed at children, I would say, but I still think they're perfect for adults as well. I would say that, you know, anyone can colour in these. Yeah, some of this is going back to like 2019. There you go, 27th of December 2018, so that was nearly 7 years ago, that one. And then I have some early work in here. This isn't my very first copy of Daydreams, but this is like my it was my second copy at the time, but I have a brand new copy now as well. But there's some more early work in here. I think I was trying to use Inktense on this, on this one. And I think this was for sort of like a kind of full book thing where each person who wanted to participate, you get sort of allocated a page. And I had asked if I could have this one if nobody wanted it. So yeah, there's not really much pencil shading on that at all. Maybe just a little bit on some of these bigger leaves here at the bottom, but these and these sort of like dark olive green leaves, they're not shaded. Yeah, just some water-based markers by the looks of it, maybe some fine liners and a bit of gel pen. I finished this one maybe last year or the year before. It was a whip for a long time, but yeah, I got that one finished. Not too bad. This is all fine liners and gel pens, with the exception of the jewel at the top. That was pencils and a white gel pen to go over the black lines, but that really messed this page on the back up. Look at all that bleed through. You know, it's horrendous. So I'm kind of glad that I've got another copy because I love this page. So this one, that was my first time ever trying to white out black lines on hair, and I don't like it. I just think it makes her look a bit washed out, to be honest. I would have liked to have maybe used like a cream or a beige paint marker, but I only had white at the time, and I thought, yeah, I want to try that thing on hair that I've seen people do, and theirs looks amazing, and yeah, mine just looks like that. So yeah, it is what it is. This was a buddy colour with my daughter Tegan, and this was Crayola Super Tips, some black glaze pen, maybe a little bit of fine liner in places, and some glitter gel pen. That was it. No shading, no nothing. Didn't even do a background. So that is a page I would definitely like to have a do-over on and do that one again. There's this one. Not too bad. Yeah, I didn't get my first set of pencils until my birthday in January 2017. And my brother got them for me. They were the Faber-Castell Classics set of 60 pencils in the red box. So yeah. So it's this one, jellyfish. I shaded the tops of these two, and I started shading the purple tentacles on this one. A little bit on here. I started adding white highlights to the bubbles, and then I got bored and didn't do any more, and then I didn't do any shading on that one. And it was my first time trying to use metallic watercolour in a background as well. I mean, when I hold it like this, it doesn't look too bad, but when it's kind of laid flat, it looks really patchy and streaky, and I don't know what I was thinking with the colours. This was a buddy colour with Tegan as well, but again, I'm glad I've got the opportunity to do that one again, because I would rather have the page cohesive, you know, this time. I know each jellyfish has got a different design, but if I could maybe just use like 3 or 4 colours and just tie it all in together, I think it would just look so much better. This was a newer page. I did this one when Queen Elizabeth II passed away. So this is a more recent one, so that's not an old page. I think that's it in this one. Yeah, so that is some of my pages from various books from earlier in my colouring journey. please excuse me, I'm just taking a sip of my coffee. So bullet point number 2 is compare a page completed earlier in your colouring journey to one completed at a later date from the same book. And this just automatically made me think of Soggle Oksagna by Emily Lyderhall-Oberg, which is otherwise very fondly known now as Fairy Tales and Folklore. The wonderful Claire from Coloured with Claire set up a petition for people to sign to have this book reprinted, because it was out of print for years and so many people weren't able to get this version of it. And then, like I said, it went out of print, so it was just impossible to find it anywhere, but it has now been reprinted and it is amazing. So yeah, this one, I've got a few pages in here. So I've got that one. I know I've got a Christmas one in here. I've got the dragon. There. The paper feels really rough, where I was using like watercolours. I don't know if it's like Neo 2s or something, but yeah, it feels really rough where I've used that. Here we go. Here's the Christmas one. I just think it looks a bit kind of washed out, and I could have done a better job on it. But I wrote my children's names here on the book: Tegan, Caden and Emmy. This one, I'm kicking myself with this one because I used alcohol marker for the background and the deep purple, some of the deep purple bits on here. And at the time I was like, do you know what, I'm not bothered, I'm happy to sacrifice a page if I don't think I'm going to colour it. And at the time I didn't think I would colour this page because of the big flowers. It just wasn't my thing. But now I look at it and think it's such a cute page, so I'm really glad that I have the opportunity to colour it in Fairy Tales and Folklore. But yeah, and then I've got metallic watercolour on the whale here as well, if you can see that. Yeah, so that is everything in that one. But then if I compare that, if we look at the Christmas page, here we go. I've got the Christmas page, and then this is Fairy Tales and Folklore. This copy was really kindly sent to me. I believe it was at the start of this year, from my beautiful best friend Jane over at Coloured with Jane. Anyone who I mentioned in this video with a YouTube channel, I will link in the description for you. But yeah, I've completed one page in this copy so far. I've got a few whips, but this is the page that I completed, and I love it. And I just think if I look at my pages in this book from back then to what I've done this year, I just think it's such a big difference. I mean, that one's, it's not too bad, but I don't know, I just feel like I could have deepened my shadows, but then I feel like that on these flowers and stuff as well. But I do like them. And then obviously we had that Red Riding Hood page, didn't we? This one. I don't know, I just feel like it maybe looks like I'm a little bit more comfortable with my supplies on this one. You know, this one just looks really faded and washed out. You know, a lot of that is probably my colour choice as well, but I don't know, I just feel like this one, even though I haven't shaded the leaves on this one, because I didn't think they needed it, to be honest, and I was okay with that because I did put quite a lot of work into like the background and my snake and things like that, and I didn't want the leaves to kind of be a focal point, you know. But yeah, I just think to show that I'm more able now to be able to create a background rather than shying away from them. You know, and I think my colours are more vibrant, and I have a better understanding now of colours that work together, and like a limited palette, you know, not overwhelming a page with colour. So I just think it makes a big difference. What do you guys think? If I show those side by side, what do you think? I'd like to think I can see a progression in my colouring journey for sure. So yeah, really, really still ridiculously proud of that page. I think it's one of my favourite pages I have ever done. Okay, so bullet point number 3 is to compare a page completed earlier in your colouring journey to one completed at a later date in different books by the same artist or in the same series of books. So I have a few to show you. So if we refer back to A Million Sloths by Lulu Mayo, you know, obviously you guys saw my earlier work in here. That one. And this one. I still quite like that one, it's cute. That one. They just, I don't know, they just seem a bit flat. And again, there wasn't any shading or anything like that on this one. So if we compare it to my work in A Million Magical Creatures, yeah, I love this book so much. So this one here, this was a buddy colour with the gorgeous Kay from Colouring with Kay. I think it was last October. This one, I was trying to work on this at the same time and I didn't get it finished, so that is a whip. So don't take any notice of that one. But this one here, and I've got stickles and metallic gel pen, and I've really kind of tried hard with my Prismacolor pencil shading. I didn't do really hardly any pencil shading in the background. I left those colours kind of flat, but I did shade on the water. I didn't shade the castle either. I just went in with a slightly darker grey around the brickwork. But I wanted her to be the focus anyway, and I really like how that turned out. This one, this was a buddy colour with my Colourful Diary. This one. And I just think, you know, you look at them, sort of compare them, excuse me, and, you know, I just feel like I've come a long way from where I was to, you know, the last like year or two with that one. Whoops. And this one. But I think you can see from my pages, I'm not afraid to use colour. I do like vibrant pages. But yeah, I just think, you know, it's nice to kind of look at them side by side and see your progression. So yeah, that's that one. And then another artist I would like to show is Maria Troller. So this is Twilight Garden, and this was one of my, well, it was my first page in this book for a really, really long time. I have also done this one. It looks like some of that was watercolour. But yeah, I didn't really add like shading or anything. There's a little bit, but not an awful lot. I've gone in with like some fine liners on there, like these bits, if you can see. It's still, you know, it's still a cute little page. But yeah, this one here was a whip for, it was a whip for years, to be honest. And then I came in and finished it. That you can see because I didn't keep track of the colours I was using on the tree, so it's very sort of warm here. We've got almost kind of like an orange undertone to it, but whereas these trees are different. But that's okay. Yeah, I like how the trees turned out. I just feel like I should have done more layers with my pencils, deepened those shadows. Really like the pink flowers, the cherry blossoms. I think they're really pretty, but the rest of the page for me is an absolute no. It's just too much. I don't like the blue background. Yeah, I could have done so much more with this page, and I feel like I kind of copped out a bit because I got to the point I was like, I'm done. So I just use a red glitter pen on these flowers where I wish that I had done them a really pretty purple to kind of pull these colours in. So I just feel like they look out of place. Whereas if I compare it to some of my more recent work, so this is Maria Troller's Universe, and I coloured this page in here, and I coloured her to look like Tafiti from Moana. Even now, I'm trying to get more confident with doing those really deep shadows. I am working on it. It is something I'm conscious of. But you can see that I was really trying, down here. And I love how she turned out. I really do. I'm really proud of this page. So if you compare that to this, it's kind of... I think that, the comparison speaks for itself, really. Yeah, really proud of that page. Even now, I love it. And I can't remember when I completed that one. It was last year or the year before, maybe. I really need to kind of date my pages, but I don't like having writing, don't like having dates written on them, so that is that one. And then also, even more recently than the Universe book, is Sargon, again by Maria Troller. And this year, I completed these 2 pages for Jack in the Beanstalk, and that was for Jo over at Geordie Colours, her hashtag of Colour the Fairy Tales 2025. So yeah, I did these 2 pages earlier in the year, and again, I just think, you do a comparison, it's just, I don't know. There's not much colour on these pages at all, blue, green, a little bit of tan, tiny little bit of purple, and that's it. Oh, a little bit of yellow and gold, but yeah, I think you can tell a difference in my work then compared to now. And then there is a page in Sargon that I am currently working on. I'll give you a sneak peek. It's a buddy colour with my beautiful friend Julianne from Julianne Annette Art, and again it's for Jo's Colour the Fairy Tales hashtag, and for December it is the Nutcracker, so I'll give you a quick sneak peek. There you go. So that is a page I am currently working on, so I'll just put that one, stand that one down there. So yeah, that is, comparing sort of a page completed earlier to some that are more recent. And then I do also have these to share with you as well. So that is Fairy and Fantasy 3 by Christine Karen. I think I only coloured the one in here. Yeah, it was this one, the frog prints. And this just looks so washed out, and I remember trying so hard with my polychromos pencils to sort of, layer and blend and do all the things, and I think you can see that I've tried, but there's so much white space coming through, and I think maybe some of that is to do with the paper, but I also think it was me with a lack of confidence with overworking it, and not feeling brave enough to go deeper with those shadows and things. That's been a real battle with me, I think, and I do believe that's why some of my pages look quite washed out, is because I just haven't been confident enough to really deepen those shadows to give that contrast. But it is something that I am trying to work on. But yeah, if we compare that to Wildflower Folk, I've done 2 pages. This one was a buddy colour with the lovely Diane from Diane Dreams in Colour. I think we coloured her this year. That is Spring Wind. And I know this is a better paper, so, you know, I completely get that. But I just feel like I worked more with my layers and blending and things on this. Maybe because the paper was easier to work on, I don't know. But again, I just feel like you can see a difference. You know, and even though I still had the grayscale here to sort of show me where the shadows and things were going, especially on her skin where I really do need help with, like, you know, where to put the shadows and things like that. I just think this is, yeah, really, really proud of this one. And then also, you guys have seen this page a lot. It is the Lady Witch page, and she is still one of my all-time favourite pages I've ever coloured. So proud of that one. Whoops. Okay. So then bullet point number 4, if possible, share exactly the same page you've coloured twice. If not possible, which pages would you like to colour again and why? How would you colour them differently? So in Daydreams by Hannah Carlson, I would love to have a do-over with this one. I feel like I would use maybe more autumnal colours on this time around, and also, you know, yeah, that one, but where is it, this one, the jellyfish page, I'm really eager to you know, redo this page. I just feel like I mentioned earlier that I would keep these very cohesive and maybe just use a 4 or 5 colours colour palette, and regardless of them having different patterns and designs, I would still like to keep them cohesive. So yeah, even, you know, I could pull out a what are they called, a colour cube card from my Sarah Renee Clark colour cubes. I could pull out a card from there and see, you know, what I could get to work on this page. I would love to do another metallic background, but I do have some better quality paint now, so you know, hopefully that would help. But I don't know, we'll see. If not, then it would be, you know, a soft watercolour background, which I just think would look really, really lovely on that page. Another page that I would really like to have the opportunity to colour again is from Worlds Within Worlds by Kirby Rosanas, and it is this one. I love how the high tops turned out. I really, really do like them, but the thing that makes me want to do this again is the trees and the background. I cannot tell you how many layers of Neocolor 2s this background has on it, and I was trying to get a really smooth blend and it wasn't happening. And where I was trying to go back and fix it, I overworked the paper. It's peeled quite badly, especially here in the centre. Yeah, there's some areas it's really noticeable. And the trees, I just feel like I could have put more effort into them. At the time I was quite happy, but I look at it now and think, I don't know. And I don't know if I would do a sunset gradient background either. I think it just overwhelms the page a little bit, to be honest. So I'd maybe try and keep it quite soft, and let the high tops do the talking. Another book that I would like to have another go at a page is the Aesthetica Synthetica sketchbook by the fantastic Carla Magana. And it's this one. This was the Carla Magana group buddy colour page for September 2023. And this was my first attempt using my, they're here, the Karen Brush Marker Pro Neon set. And I'm sure I did this in a video. It's all those Brush Marker Pros apart from the turquoise. That was just an alcohol marker. And I just went to town. I had so much fun trying to blend like the pink and the orange together and stuff. And yeah, it was fun, but I look at it now and I'm like, oh my gosh. I don't know. I don't know, but I would just like to have the opportunity to, you know, do this one again. Yeah, I like that one. And then in Graveyard Girls again by Carla Magana, there's one in here, and I'm so happy with all my pages in this book, with the exception of this one, and it really bothers me that it's even in here, and it's this one. It was a whip for quite a while. I used crayon on her hair. I tried shading her skin with crayon, and I tried putting neon on it, and it was just, I don't know, I think I could have done better with the colours. I love the colour of her trousers and her top. So I really like the pink, the purple, and then this like turquoisey green colour. I really like that, but I wish I'd give her a different hair colour. I wish I'd done the tombstone a different colour. Yeah, I don't know, it's just not my favourite. If I could take away like that, I'd be happy with that. But yeah, this, no. She's one of my all-time favourite pages. Love it. And then also in Tropicoth by Carla Magana. She's a really long-term whip. This one. I was just trying out a different colour palette to what I would normally use, and even though it was fun and it really pushed me out of my comfort zone, I feel like I maybe could have used the colours a bit better on the page. I would have liked to have given her, you know, one of these like fun, like either the oranges, pink or purple, like hair colour, you know, and then maybe use this bright orange for these flowers up here. Just, yeah, I don't know. And that was Halloween 2023. Okay, the next book I would like to have an opportunity to redo some pages is Jewelry Box by Hannah Carlson. Yeah, this one. I'm not keen on this one at all. So yeah, I would really like an opportunity to colour this one again. And with my Hannah Carlson books, because she is my favourite artist, I have tried to collect second copies of each book. So I'm hoping that the second copies will allow me to do a much better job on some of these pages that I had done originally years ago. Yeah, I would definitely sort of shade her hair and stuff now. I would not do the purple acrylic around the border. I would want to maybe do different colour flowers and stuff. I do like the turquoise leaves. I do like that, but I don't know. It's just not my favourite. I do like these bottles that I did. I do really like those. Started that one. I know it was a base of Prismacolor, but I have no idea what colour. That's been a whip for donkey's years. This one. I had a go at shading the clock in a few areas just where like the wood sort of overlapped, but like that was it. I did some shading on the clock face, but then sort of when I got down to here, to this bit, I didn't bother doing any shading at all. And then I found a sort of like a poem online by Anonymous called The Old House Clock, and so I just wrote that in the background. This was a whip for a really long time, and you know, I'm actually really happy with it, but I would love to come back in, do some more shading on these flowers, really deepen that red shadow, do some shading on the grass and also shading on the house, because I didn't. The house is just, it's just markers with fine liner and then black jelly roll glaze for the window frames. But I think my sky is okay, and I do like the leaves and apples or peaches or whatever it is on this tree. That was just all pen, no shading or anything on the you know, the bark of the tree or anything. But I do like it. Yeah, I just feel I could do so much more with it. You know, it just looks a bit kind of flat. I think on this now, I'd be tempted to get some washi tape and sort of, you know, mask off a frame around it, and then maybe do like it's like sticky on the page. Oh, it's from a page flag. Yeah, because I've got the mark there. Ugh. Yeah, and then maybe do like a watercolor background, but not do like rainbow on the bug. This was for hashtag support Hannah Carlson. And I just wish on this one that I didn't put the I think it's called dark matter Stickles glitter gel in the background, because it is really rough, really textured. And then like I shaded these flowers and these up here, but then when it came to the leaves and these purple flowers and these, I was like, now I'm done. And I just kind of, I feel like I copped out and just sort of outlined them with like a pen and whatnot. But I did write strength here in a gold gel pen and support for Hannah Carlson on there. So, yeah. I did like it at the time. Like I said, I just wish I didn't put this in, but it had the pinks and turquoises and greens, you know, it had all those colours within the glitter that pulled in from what I had around the page. So I thought, oh, that'll look great. And I like it, but I just don't feel like it's right on this page, if that makes sense. So that's Jewelry Box. There's also a lot of pages in my original copy of Soulmates that I would love to have a second go at, which I will be. I'm going to have a go at doing that next year. And then the final book that I would like to colour quite a few pages differently is Worlds of Wonder by Johanna Basford. I had quite a lot coloured in this book. And this is my original copy. I think with this one, I just want to come in and, like, you know, really deepen my shadows and strengthen my colours on these leaves here. I quite like the soft peachy look here. And then I just need to finish the frame and then these things up here. So that one's not too bad. That one's been started with just a little bit of watercolour pencil. I do like this one. That was a buddy colour with my best friend Tess. I just wish I'd maybe put a background or something on it. But at the time, I thought, you know, I've got quite a few colours on there. I'm going to leave it as it is. Okay, this one, this page, I absolutely love it. It already had the moon behind the owl, and then I went in and drew 2 more circles. So I did this one and then this one. I really like this one with the sort of like the turquoise watercolour and the yellow flowers. I just think that looks really pretty. I should have left it at that. I hate this black one. And because I didn't like it, I thought, oh, I'll just put some glitter watercolour over the top. And I mean, the paint is beautiful, the glitter paint. It's from Rebecca at the Art Spirits, but it's the black ring. I don't like it. I thought, oh yeah, I'll do it, and it will pull in from his claws and the dark chimney and, you know, the framing here and the windows and things. But no, I should have left alone. So I just wish, you know, I hadn't have done that. But I really like the colour palette on that one. That one, it's done, I guess. This one would definitely be a do-over. I was on the struggle bus for this one with my inks, and it just blobbed way too much on the paper there. It was way too dark. I couldn't blend it out. I don't really like anything about it, to be quite honest. Yeah, I'm not a fan of the clouds in the background. It was just like I sort of ripped some paper rather than doing like the sort of the fluffy cloud shapes. I thought, oh, I'll just rip some paper and have that like rough edge look, and I just don't like it. I don't like it at all. So that would definitely be a do-over. I do like these two, but I think I would like to do over the grass on this one. I don't know what I was thinking. I put like little dark green lines, and I look at it now and I'm like, why do that? You didn't need to do that. I spent so long with my pencils doing this blue sky, and I was so proud of it, and then I just went with a dark green pencil. I was like, bloop 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 bloop, and yeah, I don't know what possessed me. I really don't. This one with the elephant I love, but I hate the background, and because I didn't like, you know, the clouds that I was trying to do here with pastels, I just put a load of glitter on it, the Stickles glitter gel, and then some sparkly stars, and it just doesn't disguise how much I dislike the background. I thought, oh yeah, add glitter and I'll like it a lot more. No, I don't. So if I could keep the elephant and the balloons, that'd be great, but get rid of the background. And then this one, I had an idea for it to make it really dark and moody, and to have these houses as like silhouettes. But I don't know. I just wasn't enjoying it. I wasn't vibing with it, and it got to the point where I was like, I don't even want to finish basing it, let alone sitting here and shading it. So that is an abandoned page. So yeah, quite a few in there that I would like a do-over as well. Okay, bullet point number 5 is to share some of your most favourite pages from 3 or more years ago. So I have Sprukusbos by Tomislav Tomic, and I've coloured this page in here, and I believe this was with Shalene over at Shalene's Creativity Room. She was colouring this, and I was like, oh, I love that page, I want to join along. And so I did, and yeah, even though I didn't shade everywhere, I didn't shade on the dark orange here on the petals or anything, I still really like it. I love that beautiful sunflower in the middle, and I was very new at you know, my Albrecht Dürer watercolour pencils, but I tried, and I tried to get a little blend there on the petals, and then I've tried doing like iridescent wings on the fairies. I don't know if you can see, there's like different colours on there, and then I think I used either Wink of Stella or the clear Spectrum Noir glitter brush pen on the wings. I mean, a lot of that is kind of rubbed off now, but that's okay. But yeah, I didn't shade these flowers either. Ugh. I'm not a fan of the colours on those. Yeah, not a fan of the red and yellow. But overall, I do think it's a really nice page. And I think, considering I was early to my Albrecht Dürers, I think I did a pretty good job. So yeah, I do like that one. And it's the sunflower for me. The sunflower, just, yeah, I love it. Then I have Imagimorphia by Kirby Rosanas. Now, this isn't a favourite page for sort of how it looks, but it's more the process, if that makes sense. and it was this one, my Tutankhamun page. And I was colouring this when Aaron was still with us, and he loved listening to like sort of ancient history podcasts and stuff like that. And I remember we both went through a phase of listening to the ancient Egyptians, and I was colouring this at the time as well, and I was using my Castle Art pencils, and I was just really enjoying it, just sort of colouring away, you know, trying to sort of layer and blend my pencils. And you know, I've got some stickles and things on here, and I was so proud of this page. And I wanted the background to look like the old sort of like papyrus. So I tried doing my inks on that, and it's okay. I look at it now and think, oh, I could do that better now, but for the memories that are behind this, and just me remembering how much I enjoyed the process of sitting down and chipping away at this page, you know, working on sort of like Tutankhamun first, and then coming in and thinking, right, okay, what colour do I want to do the Anubis? What colour do I want to do the smoke and the cat and things? So yeah, I've got fond memories of that one, which is kind of, that's what makes this one a favourite. Another one from years ago that I'm super proud of is from Jasmine Beckett Griffith's Fantasy Art Adventure colouring book, and it's this one, the Absinthe Butterflies page. I'm still so proud of this, and it looks like I've barely done any shading in her hair whatsoever. It looks like there's a little bit of maybe like a deeper yellow, but that's it. This was a buddy colour, I think, with Louise and Sammy from Colour and Chat with Sammy, and I really enjoyed this one. I wish that I had have put green Posca pen around the green here. But it's okay. I should have sort of maybe added some shading, and where I had watercoloured here with looks like my Neo 2s, or maybe just a cheap set, I don't know. But I wish I had maybe done that with these bits as well, just to give it a bit of a softer look. But I love her, and I did try and follow a tutorial by Sammy on how she colours eyes in her Jasmine Beckett Griffith books. And at the time, I was so proud of how they turned out. And then I really love the colour of the Absinthe Butterflies, that really sort of beautiful, vibrant, fluorescent green. Yeah, love it. I'm still really proud of that page. Beautiful colours. And then another one, and this one surprised me actually when I was looking through my books, and I was like, oh my gosh, I remember colouring that. And I kept looking at it, and I was like, I love that. I can't believe I coloured that. And this is Girls with Poem, I believe, by Momo Girl. And it was this one. This page, this was done quite a few years ago, and I really like how this looks. I think the colours are really pretty. I did try and pull the yellow from her from her sweatshirt up into like these yellow petals here, and then obviously I've used kind of like a yellow in the centre of the flowers. The greens that I used in her hair were the same greens I was using on these leaves, and then I've got this beautiful sort of like grey blue kind of colour here for her jumper. Yeah, I really like how that turned out. And there's been a few times where I've looked at this book and thought, oh, I don't work in it, you know, maybe I should de-stash it, but then I can't bring myself to. That's the other page that I done. I just can't bring myself to, because I absolutely love it. So for me, that means, you know, if you love it, then colour in it. So hopefully 2026 will see me do a page in here. I'd really like to. I really would like to. Oh, she's cute, isn't she? Look at this one. It's very Christmassy, isn't it? Yeah, beautiful. Oh my gosh, look how gorgeous. It was stunning. Absolutely stunning. Yeah. So I definitely need to come back and show this book some love. Okay, and then the final question is, what are your most favourite coloured pages from this year and why? Reflect on how you colour now compared to when you started colouring. Okay, so a few of my favourites. The first one is from Disney Mosaics by Hatchet Heroes. Connor and I are now doing this as a project book and I'm so glad. There is a few pages in here that I coloured at like the beginning and I didn't shade or do like the different colour squares and stuff. They're kind of, they look a bit flat if I'm being honest. If I can find, yeah, this is one of them. So it's just kind of flat colour and a bit of gel pen, whereas now that was an early one as well. Whereas now I like to do this and go in like alternate squares. You know, use the same colour but sort of just two different shades of the same colour for the character, and I love how that looks, and it is so mindless and relaxing, and I just think these are perfect to do in between the more involved and more detailed pages that you kind of need to think a bit more about, especially if you're working with a certain colour palette or certain mediums. But these are just an absolute joy, and the Robin Hood has to be my favourite that I've done this year. Followed closely, where is he? There we go, followed closely by Merlin. I love it. I just, yeah, this is what makes, you know, some of these pages my favourites as well, is just because it was just so relaxing to colour them. And, you know, Connor and I were just sat chatting away at the time, and you just sort of like, you know, you're colouring every other square, and it's brilliant. It's just so relaxing, so therapeutic, and yeah, I think sometimes we all need that, and so that's what makes some of these pages my absolute favourite of this year. Another favourite was from My Walk Through the Seasons by Rita Berman. Zoom you in a little bit. There we go. And this was a buddy colour. I haven't got to that page yet. Here we go, this one. And this was a buddy colour with the lovely Patricia over on Instagram. And we coloured this one, and it was in the month of June, I believe, for Pride. And I love it. It was just a you know, a simple page, nothing fussy or fancy, but I had such a good time. You know, I put some tape in, so I've added like a little background here and used my watercolour stippling technique, which I love. I used my Bright Languo gel pens, the I think it was the neon or the dopamine set, for the laces and like these bits under the trainers. Some stickers for bubbles because it had pinks and purples, which is what I was using here. I love it, and it was just an absolute delight. It was so lovely working on that page. Yeah, I had an absolute blast. It was so fun, and I love how vibrant and happy and cheerful the page is. So that it just had to be a favourite. And then another one is this one, Mythographic Mythical Beasts by Veronica Kalinska. And it was this one, the space bear thing. I was so proud of this page. I love it. I absolutely love it. I just wish I'd taken time to do some shading on this planet here, or maybe just done it a different colour, but I feel like it sticks out like a sore thumb. But it's okay. It's all right. Yeah, so proud of this one. You know, I think I did pretty well with my Prismacolors. I used Inktense, I believe, on these sections in the background, and then I used this beautiful handmade metallic paint. I think it's called Castor, and that is by Kaylee over at Archie's Paints on Etsy. Yeah, it's just fantastic. And I've added some washi tape top and bottom that matches the colours. So yeah, really, really proud of that page. And then I will admit I do also have a couple of pages for my December complete pages that I am really proud of as well. But I don't want to show you those in this video because I want to save that for when I do my complete pages. But I just feel like in the beginning, sort of reflecting back on how I colour now compared to the beginning. In the beginning, I wasn't confident. I used to make the mistake of seeing other people's work online and then comparing myself and thinking, I'm never going to be able to do that. How can I ever work like that with pencils and make my pages look like that? Is, you know, how is that even possible? And I just felt, I don't know, it sounds strange. At that time, I just didn't feel like I was good enough, but I really, really wanted to try. And colouring and art and drawing has always been a part of my life ever since I was little. Yeah, there's been times where I've had like a few years without, and that's okay. You know, life happens. You know, I had children. I had, you know, before them I had a full-time job, and it just wasn't on my radar. It was always there in the back, but not. It just wasn't something I was doing on a daily basis. But it has always been there. You know, my mum was a creative, you know, when I was teeny tiny. And so I do believe that I get it from her. But yeah, my colouring just used to be very, very flat, limited shading, because I never really enjoyed working with coloured pencils. I didn't enjoy them in school, didn't enjoy them in sixth form. I avoided them at all costs in college. When I was working in the tattoo shop designing tattoos, I wouldn't add pencils to my artwork there. I just didn't like them. I wasn't confident with them, so I avoided them. But then I saw all these amazing pages and I was like, oh, I'm going to have a go at that. So I asked my brother to buy me a set of pencils for my birthday in 2017, and he did. Colouring is now such a huge part of my life, and it helps me with my mental health as well. It's a distraction from other things, and I feel like, you know, I've definitely grown as a colorist, and I have learned a lot over the years, but I just feel like I need to work on my confidence, you know, and think, you know, I can do this, because there's quite a few books I have in my collection and I'm like, I can't do that artwork justice, and so I shy away from it. Whereas I want to, you know, I want to colour those books, because if I didn't love them and if I didn't want to colour the artwork, I wouldn't have brought them into my collection, you know. But yeah, I definitely think, you know, hopefully moving forward, as even more time progresses, that I can build confidence and not be afraid to really deepen those shadows and brighten those highlights, and, you know, really play with the contrast and stuff, and just continue to have fun. But yeah, it's, you know, like I said, my colouring in the beginning was quite flat, but I feel like I'm definitely making progress now, especially with my pencil work, which I'm working hard on, and also watercolouring as well, which I adore. So that is it, my loves. That is my answers for the Colouring Journey Reflections tag created by the gorgeous Kay over at Colouring with Kay. But I just want to say thank you all so much for taking time out of your day to watch this video. I really do appreciate it. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day and that you're all ready and prepared and excited for the festive period, however that may look for you and your loved ones. So thank you so much. Take care, stay safe, my loves, and I will see you in the next one. Lots of love. Bye.